So you want to know how much to charge for a life coaching session? Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you how to do that, but in a way that's a little unusual. See, what I like to say is if you want to make a little bit of money, charge for a life coaching session. But if you want to make a lot of money, charge for this instead. So when I hear the question of how much to charge for a life coaching session, I already know that there's some work to be done on your learning and your mindset around pricing and coaching. The problem with that question is that you're selling a session. And a session in and of itself, even if it's with you and even if you're amazing, isn't all that valuable yet. It doesn't have enough perceived value. Another problem is that selling sessions, generally speaking, starts to create mistrust with clients. Here, I'll use an example that's not in the coaching industry. Think about lawyers. Why do you think lawyers get such a bad rap? Well, my theory is that lawyers, because they sell for hours over outcomes, create mistrust with clients. Clients are always wondering, wow, do they really need to do all that work? Or are they trying to drag out this lawsuit so that they can make more money? These are really common fears that people have with working with lawyers, and it's because lawyers charge by the hour instead of the outcome. Ultimately, what happens is that you and your clients, if you charge this way, you and your clients have misaligned objectives. Your objective for your own self-interest is to book as many sessions and hours as possible. And your client's objective is to minimize the number of hours and sessions they book with you and get the most outcomes. So what's a way that you can start to align your interests with your clients? That's one of the things we're going to address in this video. The solution to this problem is to sell the outcome, not the sessions. In other words, what you want to sell is the cure, not the medicine. Sell the hot body, not the workout. Sell the destination, not the plane. When it comes time to put a price on your life coaching sessions, if you charge for your time, that's going to be worth a lot less than if you charge for the outcome that the client is seeking. So the benefit of my approach is that number one, and probably most importantly, it creates more trust in the relationship. And on top of that, the bonus is that it also forces you to become a better coach. When you're coaching to outcomes and when your programs offer specific outcomes, and especially if they guarantee them, trust me that you're going to become way better at delivering those outcomes. In addition, it also creates more profit because guess what? There's a higher perceived value for outcomes than hours. Your clients will most likely be willing to pay more to know that they're going to get the outcomes that they really need and want. So how do you do it? How do you set a price for this outcome-driven type of program? Well, first things first, I want to talk a little bit about two different kinds of outcomes that I like to distinguish between. The first is a breakthrough outcome, and the second is a mastery outcome. Now, these are different because generally they happen in different time frames. So when it comes to coaching, you can structure your packages in these two ways. A breakthrough outcome usually happens intensely and quickly. And I love to open up coaching packages to start client relationships with a breakthrough program. It's something that doesn't cost a whole lot of money. Well, at least relatively speaking, we'll talk about that later. But it's something that has a very juicy, compelling outcome delivered in a compressed time frame. Let me give you an example of what this distinction looks like. With a breakthrough program, the way I do it is that every client starts with this one program called the Superstar Business Breakthrough. Now, in this program, it has a very compelling outcome. Essentially, anybody that comes through this program gets the outcome that they will design a new business model that is designed to be graceful, easy, joyful, energy-rich, and provide monthly recurring revenues. So my breakthrough program takes about 3 days. So everybody comes into this program and we deliver this juicy outcome in a very compressed amount of time. Now, I charge a certain amount for that. I don't charge for how much time it takes me or how much time it takes my team, because if I did that, I would probably charge less. Now, because the outcome is so compelling, it allows me to charge more for that outcome. Now, on the other side of that is what I called the mastery type of program. So mastery involves an ongoing, more long-term commitment. Now, the beauty of these two things together is that mastery very often, very naturally and organically follows a breakthrough program. So once you've delivered somebody a powerful outcome over here, then they're way more likely to be interested in a long-term program over here. Now, when you think about selling life coaching sessions, you're selling something kind of in between, something that's hard to pinpoint. Like, what's the value of selling a life coaching session or selling 12 life coaching sessions? Instead, you could sell a breakthrough program in 3 sessions that doesn't take you nearly as much time to deliver, but gives them a really juicy outcome, and then they're well primed in order to enroll in some sort of mastery program to continue working on that thing from a mindset perspective or an implementation perspective. By the way, this would be a great time to interrupt my content and tell you that I have a coaching business playlist that has several videos that go even deeper into these topics. You can find the link to that playlist both up above and in the description below. Another thing you'll want to think about as you decide how to charge for your services is what kind of format you can deliver these appealing outcomes in. Personally, I love the retreat format. I feel like there's no better way to get a juicy outcome in a compressed amount of time than to have the pressure of a 3-day retreat. And now, recently, I've had to learn how to do this 3-day format virtually. So you don't even have to get a venue. You don't even have to spend money on food and beverage. You can now try this format yourself with very little upfront investment and overhead cost. If you like this video and you want more information, then please check out my playlist all about how to build a thriving, scalable, sustainable coaching practice. You can either check it out above or click on the link in the notes below.